Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this special episode of Astros baseball. Joining me tonight is my boy Wally. Wally, how you feeling today, buddy? Breaking news: Altuve and the Astros agree on a 5-year extension that'll keep Altuve in Houston through 2029.
It's pretty wonderful. I feel a lot better than I did probably about 45 minutes ago. I was thinking, making some notes on for a future cast and thinking, what are we going to talk about with the extension? Well, this takes one of them out of the way. Getting into the details, the numbers look perfect. Altuve gets 15 million up front. He gets 30 million for the next 3 years. He gets 10 million in his age 38 and 39 seasons. And so outside of any strange event, he should be here to the end of his career, which is really how it ought to be.
Yeah, I mean, even at the end of his career, even at the end of this contract, if he's still playing well, he could extend again. That's how I feel. Like, as long as Altuve can play, they're gonna just keep signing him. As long as he wants to play and he can play, I think he's gonna be here forever. I don't see him ever wearing another uniform.
I don't either. And lucky for him and for lucky for all of us, he
Yeah.
seems to be wearing very well. You don't see the power numbers falling off yet. A lot of times you see in the early 30s, some of these guys will start to lose just a little bit of power. The peripherals will fall apart. But at the end of last year, he had a slash line of 335, 404, 544, which will give you an OPS of 948, which will play in, which plays pretty well.
All right. So the thing about this contract, you spoke about other extensions. You have to try to keep Bregman. You also have to try to keep Tucker. This isn't the kind of contract those two guys are going to accept. However, if they well, see, Bregman's already making 30 million, so
I think
you
34 or
can't
something
you
like that. 30. It's in that number.
yeah, so you can't really, like, say, "Hey, take 15 for a couple of years, and then when Altuve makes 10, then we'll pay you more." He's gonna want what he has now, or he's gonna want I don't think he's gonna do this kinda deal. But I expected this from Altuve. I expected him to do something team friendly. I think everybody that follows the Astros expected them to do something, and it was team friendly. And this is pretty team friendly.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's certainly a very fair contract, and I completely agree with you with Bregman and Tucker. When you look at the ages, Tucker's 27, Bregman's 30. Let's say he gets the same 5 year that Bregman or that Altuve just got. You're talking about somebody who's going a full value contract for the entire of the duration. They may do some sort of an option where you can fall off a little bit after that, but he's going to expect a pretty steady number from now till when he's age 35. He turns 30, I think, March 29th.
So he'll be 30 at the end of his contract with the Astros. And I don't see him taking anything that's 5 years. I think he probably wants to get no less than 10. But we've also seen, superstars or Major League Baseball superstars that, they hit free agency and they're expecting this huge 10-year deal. Like, let's look at Carlos Correa. He had these huge deals lined up, they fell through, and he signed a pretty small contract with the Twins.
Yeah, that's right. And one thing that the Altuve and Bregman have in common on this is that this will be their last big contract
Yeah.
as to where they are. Once Bregman gets to, let's say he signs a 5 or 6 year contract, let's say he even gets 7 years. Well, if he's still productive, the contract he's going to get at age 37 is going to be much less than what he's going to get now. It's just because of age.
Yeah, do you think the Astros would what kind of contract do you think the Astros would offer Bregman?
Boy, that's hard to say. I
It
think
is, right?
it's real hard to say. This one, this in this contract, the Astros have bought a little insurance by having the last 2 years being in the 10 million at a $10 million number.
Mhm.
I don't see him going any more than 5 years. Do you?
For, Bregman?
For Bregman?
Oh, do I see Altuve playing longer than this?
I would. I would, but I'm saying when you talk about Altuve's contract being 5 years, taking that, do you see Bregman taking a 5 year contract? Do you think he'll
No,
want more?
I think he'll want longer.
Yeah, and I don't see the Astros going more than 5 years, at
I
least
mean,
not at the number.
if let's say that they did some kinda contract like this, it's like, "Alright, you wanna be here forever, you wanna make big money, let's pay you 30 something until you're 35 and then tail off at the end when your production's gonna tail off." But who do you think would be more important, him or Kyle Tucker? Kyle Tucker's
Tucker.
very productive.
Tucker.
Tucker's very productive, but Alex Bregman's gonna be the hardest guy to replace, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's true. A good third baseman's hard to replace, and like we spoke last night, if things progress as we think they might, Jacob Melton might be the right fielder 2 years from now.
Yeah. So
I, I,
what
I
did you have any you said had some stats or things about, Altuve in recent years and
well, he's got at the second half of the year last year he hit 335. He hit 286 in the playoffs. Um, he's not showing any signs um, of slowing down. His range factor has dropped from 4 something to 3 something in the last several years, and he's gotten older. He doesn't cover as much ground, but in the last 3 years, his home runs have been good.
yeah.
He last year he you know last year he had a 2.8 WAR, OPS plus a 151. He's still very, very productive.
Oh, yeah. So I forgot what I was gonna say. I had something lined up to say about Altuve, but, I lost it. I was listening to you say the stats, but, anyway, I think this is a great deal.
I think it's a
That's
perfect deal.
exactly what I needed to say. I don't
You
know
know
if
what?
these other guys are gonna be signable like this. I don't think this is the kinda thing that people take, but I honestly believe that this is the sort of thing that Altuve would do.
Yeah, this is exactly in line where we were hoping it would be. I think one of the subplots that you don't again, we said earlier, this is the second extension that he signed as Boris as his agent. People talk about Boris as being difficult, not wanting to sign uh, guys early. This just shows that if the player wants to take control, he knows where he wants to be. He can control the
Yeah.
process, and Boris will get him a market deal.
Do you remember any contract like this? I think I know what I was gonna say. Let's say Altuve hits free agency and the Astros don't extend him. He's gonna sign probably a 5-year contract, but he's gonna get 30 million every year. So I think someone else is gonna pay him more, and that's kinda why I see this as a hometown discount.
Yeah, I don't know. I think where it benefits Altuve is that he might have gotten 30 million from somebody else, but I'm not sure he would have gotten a 5 year deal.
Yeah. Well, he might have.
He might have. I mean, there's
Some
always a great
teams, they'll sign guys that they want for a couple of years, and they'll just eat, whatever happens the last few years of the contract. I think they accept it, but I don't think the Astros are like that, and that's kinda what you pointed out with that 10 million. It's not a big contract. If he's
mm,
not playing well in the last 2 years, everybody's not gonna be like, "We wasted $10 million on
right.
Altuve." I think he'll still be good. I
Yeah,
have
no,
confidence he'll still produce.
I think if all of a sudden he fell off the face of the earth, performance wise, and he was 38 years old, they could say, okay, we can eat $10 million a year, DFA him,
Yeah.
and put another player in there. He seems to be holding up well. You got to think at the age 38, 39, stage, you're going to at least bring somebody in, or he's going to be playing 120 games a year rather than 150 games a year. We were talking about his numbers. I got his home run numbers outside of the COVID year. It's 31, 31, 28, and 17, only playing 90 games. So he's been a consistent 30 home run guy.
Yeah. So if you look at the contracts, I was thinking about some people that were really, really good ball players like Altuve is. Altuve's possible future Hall of Famer someday. You got Miguel Cabrera, who signed a large deal with Detroit, and he wasn't super good at the end. He was decent. Big Poppy was the only one that was really, really good
Yeah.
at the
No,
end.
I
But
think
then,
Bobby was good.
like St. Louis had Pujols, but it was kind of like these guys were the team was just kind of waiting for these guys to retire so that they could move on.
Right.
But
Yep.
but their money was big.
Yeah.
They weren't $10 million guys playing in their age
No,
38, 39.
no, it's kind of it's in line with what we were talking last night. The Jim Bowden comment that when these guys sign these long-term deals, the fan base needs to get ready to understand that the last years of this deal are probably not going to be very good.
Yeah.
One other guy that did well at the end of his career and probably could have played longer and would have had added to his Hall of Fame resume was Billy Wagner. In
Hmm.
his last year with the Braves, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I recall he was still pretty good.
Another thing I saw today, I saw it right after I saw the Altuve thing, but we were speaking about the Dodgers and their pitching staff, and someone had mentioned that Kershaw was going to sign. And I think they agreed to something. I didn't see any terms, but I know that they've agreed to something.
Yeah, they have. I have not. They have not released terms on the deal. Um,
Probably 1 year.
he- yeah, it's a 1 year deal, and I think he's going to be back mid-season.
Oh, so he's hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt, so that was one of the things that was holding it up. I think it's a July timeframe type of thing. And then
What have you heard about like Lance McCullers or Luis Garcia? The last thing
what
I've
I've
heard
heard about that
was
is July,
June.
August.
June or July. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
August. All the way in
July,
August?
August. We get it's another mid to later season thing. Anything we get from those guys is found money.
Yeah.
Anything we get from McCullers is found money every
Yeah.
year.
What a lot of people need to realize too is sometimes you extend people like we did Lance McCullers
Yeah,
and the guys played like maybe 8 or 11 games since
that's
they
right.
extended him. He's always hurt. So you
Well,
never know. I mean, it looks like it looks good when you're doing it, and it could end up looking bad, just like the deals when they give those old guys that aren't playing well those huge contracts.
well, if you remember way back in the 2014-15 timeframe when Singleton came up, they gave him a 5 year like a 5 year $10 million extension.
Yeah.
Well, I mean he played 2 or 3 years of that, and he was out of baseball, and he's a fringe player to make the Astros this year.
Yeah.
And I was doing some work and earlier, and I think he's got a good chance to make it, but he could also be the victim when it comes to the end of spring training. If one of these guys that gets cut by another team, the Astros pick up and cut Singleton.
Well, what's the guy they picked up? Cabbage?
Cabbage, yes.
I mean, that guy might be better for the team than him, and you also
Yep.
have, Corey Julks. There's a couple of open spots at the bottom of the
Yeah,
roster in the offense, and, I even read about, Joe Espada said, "This guy's got a chance. This guy has a chance to be on the roster when we break camp." So, they love his that he bat I think he bats both sides. He has power, plays infield, outfield. I mean, if this dude works out, that is a big,
that's a
huge
big deal.
find.
It
Big deal.
looks like we've got two pitcher spots and two position player spots
Yep.
that
Yeah,
people are playing for. I
yep,
mean,
that's what I have too.
you've got a number of guys. No, but you've got the Bennett Sousas of the world, who came in and did well last year, and he's
Can
from
he
the left
keep it
side.
up all year, though?
Can he keep it up the rest of the year? But you know,
There
it's
was
a good night. It's a good night to be an Astro because we've got Altuve, and that's Dana has solved two problems in the offseason that we knew needed to be solved. We got
Yeah.
another bullpen arm, and we got Altuve taken care of. And my sense is with Bregman, we'll know sooner rather than later if this is going to happen or not.
So I just got off work. I'm really tired, but I do not want to downplay, folks. I do not want to downplay this one bit.
Uh-uh.
This excites me. This makes me very happy that they took care of Altuve already, and we don't have to worry about him
Yep.
probably ever again. And I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing, and I'm very, very happy. I know we just reported on it, but as a fan, super happy about this.
Well, and as a fan wanting the team to do well, you want to eliminate these distractions. And this is one distraction that you just take off the table. It's one more item you take off the table. Again, I think this Bregman thing will play out sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
and we'll know Bregman will have enough on the line that he'll play well. We don't have to worry about Bregman giving it all. He might even take it as a way to play better and to play up his value.
I don't think it's anything a player should do, but I honestly think if he took a 5-year deal, the Astros would keep giving him deals as long as he was performing, and
Bregman,
that's kinda why they take the big contracts. They wanna make sure, they're guaranteeing that they're gonna get paid $30,000,000 for the next 10 years instead of just 5 or 6. So I understand
yeah,
that's why he's not gonna do it.
yeah, I agree. I mean, you would hope that they'd do something to where they do 5 years, 5 years at 30 million, or figure out what a number is.
Yeah.
Do a team option at 27, $28 million, something like that for 2 or 3 years, or a $1 or $2 million buyout to hedge their bets.
Yeah. But, I mean, you gotta save some money somewhere, and I think that money should go to Kyle Tucker. I lost my
Yeah.
voice there. And we talked about it last time. It's not something the Astros do, but if you wanna keep Kyle Tucker, you're gonna have to go 10 years at least.
You're going to at
It
least
could
have
it
to
could be the 2 years he has left, plus it could be this season, the next year, and then 10 more,
yeah.
but they gotta do something. Him and Bregman are not gonna stay for short
Mhm.
contracts, but thank
Sir.
God Altuve loves being here, and thank God the Astros love him being here.
Well, and now Altuve's 34 years old.
That's true.
We can't underplay that. You could see Tucker doing something along the lines and say, okay, 10 years at X. Well, we're not going to go any more than 8. Tucker says, fine, but you're going to pay me 1.2X.
Yeah.
So I'm
They
going
could
to
they
get the
could
money
do
somehow.
this instead of being like 3 years at
Yep.
30,000,000, they could give him 7 years and then give him 3 small ones. "Hey, you're gonna be old. Let's
Yeah,
pay you less."
let's say
But
he does
I
let's say
doubt
he
it.
does 10 at 400. We say, okay, I want you to do 8. Well, you're going to do 8 at 350 or 360.
Yeah. If you think about a player the caliber of Kyle Tucker as a free agent from another team, you're not gonna offer him anything ridiculous. You're gonna offer him whatever you gotta pay to get him.
Yep.
So I don't think I don't as much as I hate it, Kyle Tucker is gone unless the Astros change their ways and make long contracts, and I really honestly think this is the last year we have Bregman.
Can you imagine Kyle Tucker in Yankee Stadium?
I don't want to imagine
I
that
don't want to imagine it because he would light it up.
because they're gonna pay him.
Oh yeah, they'll pay him.
And then Alex Bregman, he said this is the first year he's coming in healthy, so, some of the people that say, "Well, maybe we shouldn't give Bregman that money, let's give it to Tucker." What if Bregman comes in a house of fire? Everybody's gonna wanna save him, but, uh hindsight's 2020. We'll see what happens, but at least we got Altuve, folks.
That's it. It's a good day to be an Astro.
Yes, sir. All right, I don't have anything else. Do you have
That's
anything
it.
else?
That's
All
it.
right, folks. We appreciate you giving your time here for this special episode. Jose Altuve and the Astros agree on a 5-year extension. Do not worry. You will be seeing Altuve in an Astros uniform till 2029. Again, 15 million signing bonus. The next 3 years will be 30 million. That's 25, 26, and 27 years. And then that's when he shows his love for the Astros. 10 million a year in 28 and 29, which he'll be what, 38 and 39.
Yep.
He'll be an old man. I wish I was 39. All right, guys, we will see you next time on Astros Baseball. Thank you so much for watching.